Well, MHC Crushes is basically like an embodiment of the internet for our generation, specifically at a school like this. It's also a horrible place, but wonderful at the same time.
I would define it as an anonymous Instagram account that allows people to blast their thoughts on other students for everyone else to see with very little repercussions.
Anonymous harassment page.
I know I first heard about it fall semester of 2019.
I was dating somebody at the time, and she decided it was a fun idea to start this MHC Crushes Instagram. It's mostly her. She started it, and then she roped me into it, and then we ran it together while we were still together, and then we broke up, so it became mine.
There had been a couple of other like anonymous confessions pages before on Instagram. There was MHC Confessions. There was I think it was MHC After Dark, I want to say, or something like that. But there were a few other confessions pages beforehand that had not ended well. So my initial out with MHC Crushes was just like, oh, here we go again.
So I graduated last year and was there for like the whole run of anonymous accounts that just like popped up one after another. I saw so many of them come and go. There's been at least like 8 of them. I don't know, part of it is for me, MHC Crushes did not exist on its own or come to be on its own, so I'm thinking about it in the broader galaxy of Mount Holyoke anonymous accounts.
I remember looking at it and thinking, oh, that's kind of cute. Like, that's kind of fun.
I thought it was a cute thing for like appreciation of like friends.
You know, it can boost someone's ego and it could make someone feel good about themselves.
I made a post on a separate occasion about like something that I just like sort of needed a little bit of advice about. I think it's just like a sort of like fun, quirky thing that we do, and like
I had a friend who met someone through it.
I feel like it is nice to compliment other people. It started off as a very like, ooh, this is fun and light and stuff, and then I think it evolved into a lot more than that. Yes, we get furries, and we also get mental health issues, and then, you know, just all sorts of things that I think I never expected.
I feel like whoever created it had good intentions. Because, you know, Mount Holyoke has a lot of queer people, particularly queer women, and we're all useless. But I don't know, I think the anonymity really didn't help anyone because it took away any accountability.
In general, I felt really uncomfortable with the amount of fetishization. There was really rampant transphobia. There was pretty rampant racism, if I remember right. They ended up borderline segregating it, where it was that like they realized that most of the submissions that they were getting were for white students, and they did like a POC shout out on their Instagram story every week where it's like, if you think any of the not white students are hot, post here. You'd see a lot of posts of like, why are there no boys at this school? Or alternatively, why are there dudes here? And every time it came back around to just like, there are guys here, just not cis ones, and you're making all of us uncomfortable.
Yeah. You know, there was enough, you know, racism, transphobia, whatever word you prefer to use, like anti-butchphobia, transmask, etc. There's, you know, I don't remember which, like, anti-Semitism, you know, like, the anti-Semitism was really there, but in general, the ones who were getting the uncomfortably horny posts and the fetishistic posts, or however you want to pronounce that, were the ones who were in more marginalized groups, is what I'm going to say.
I think the greatest failings of a lot of these pages, a lot of people are really quick to put the failings onto the mods, and I think while there is a certain degree of, yes, the moderators of these pages when they come up should do a better job of, like, because the whole thing is like, oh, you know, no question is too much, post everything, it's purely anonymous. And I think that while more moderation would have helped, I think it's more indicative of the overall culture of the school.
So, like, as long as they continue to be submitting things to an individual who is unknown, I don't think there's really any capacity for these pages to be anything but harmful. I just don't think there's any, like, given the level of maturity that people come into college with, I don't think there's any healthy way to do that. Because the moderators have biases, the people submitting them have biases, and, you know, I just don't think there's any way to actually prevent the level of bigotry that emerges when you give someone anonymous power.